Welcome back to the channel, guys. The Champions League is around the corner, and so today they had to submit the official list of players for at least until January. It was the deadline for all teams today at midnight. So guys, Milan producing their list. You'll notice that there's only 23 players available on this list instead of 25. We'll explain why in a second. You'll notice that 3 players are off this list completely. One that is injured, it's a big name, and the other 2 are new acquisitions, new signings from this summer, but they just didn't make it, guys. And you'll notice that a player that didn't make it last year actually made it this year, and a player that was loaned out last year that isn't really in any plans or any project of the team actually was very useful for this list, and I'll explain for you why as well. Before we start, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, guys, as usual. And so here we go, guys, the list. So Magna, Kalulu, Tia, Kier, Tomori, Theo, Reinders, Krunic, Loftus-Cheek, Musa, Leao, Chukwueze, Okafor, Pulisic, Giroud, Jovic, and Adli. Adli, guys, the first surprise. If you remember, last year he didn't make the list. He didn't take part of the entire Champions League. This year, because of the injury to Benacer not available till November, doesn't make this list, guys. And so Adli, Pioli said it, he sees him as the replacement of Krunic if Krunic isn't there. And so Adli makes the list. Incredible but true. So that's list A. List B needs to include 4 players that are a product of Italian soccer. So they must be from a farm team in Italy somewhere, and you need to have 4 players that are from your farm team that are eligible for this list. So the first part, cresciuti in Italia, that come from Italy, must be filled out. So in this case, Milan has Florenzi, has Mirante, has Sportiello, and a big surprise, guys, Caldara. Caldara, who hasn't been at Milan for the last 2 seasons, was loaned out a bit everywhere. Last year was to Spezia. Isn't part of any project for Milan anywhere time soon. His contract ends in 2024. However, he is very important for this list. If it wasn't for Caldara, Milan wouldn't have had enough players for this part of the list. They would have had to buy another Italian player. And so Caldara, who hasn't played in the longest time for Milan, is actually part of the Champions League list. Yes, he's very useful for the list, but he's also useful in terms of numbers. Why? Because with Kalulu, Tia, Kier, and Tomori, we only have 4 center backs. And so Caldara will become number 5. And so at this point, you're going to say, well, where's Pellegrino? They bought him this season. Pellegrino and Romero, guys, did not make the list. So we'll talk about it in a second. And so the other part of list B is that you have to have up to 4 players that are from your farm team, cresciuti nel vivaio della squadra. So for Milan, they have Calabria, they have Pobega, and that is it. This is why Milan only has 23 players out of 25. Not sure why they didn't insert Bartesaghi in this list. I would have added him just in case you needed somebody for Theo or anybody else. They still had 2 spots, so I personally would have added him to this list. And then, of course, the players that are out, Benacer, Pellegrino, and Romero. Interesting that Pellegrino and Romero didn't make it. But from list A, they couldn't have been inserted unless you removed somebody else. And I don't think Milan wanted to remove Tia, Kier, Tomori, or Kalulu. And up front, you wouldn't have removed anybody to put in Romero, right? You wouldn't have removed Pulisic, Okafor, Chukwueze, Leao, you wouldn't have removed. And then the 2 strikers, Giroud, Jovic, you won't remove either. So interesting list, guys. I hope Milan does well. Let me know what you think. Write in the comments, guys. Have a great soccer day. And so that is Milan's list for the Champions League, at least till January. Of course, after the January transfer market, you can update the list. And so we'll see what happens then. Benacer might be put back in. Adli might be taken out. Or somebody else. We'll see how they do. Or maybe Milan won't have to make another list, because if they don't qualify for the group stage, after passing the group stage, if they don't make it in the first 2 teams, guys, they're going to have to do it for the UEFA maybe. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think. Write in the comments, like and subscribe. Have a great soccer day.